boy! Yeah. Good morning. Hey, is it streaming to a different video? Something was weird about YouTube today. Am I live here? See, I'm not live there. So it's streaming something called Wednesday. All right. I'll go there. Happy Wednesday. Wait, it's Friday. Hang on, let me update that. I think it's Friday the 14th, right? Oh no.
Soundtracking your content can be tricky.
Uh-oh. Ad. All right. All right, I guess I'll update that. Good, here we are. Base, hello, can you go? Death row. What a brother know. Once again, back is the incredible Rhyme Animal. How's the sound check? You got the sound? Okay, let me move some windows around. I got this, I got that. That can be closed. That could be moved to the right. This other thing can be moved to the left. There's still something weird going on with YouTube, but I guess we'll deal with that. Let's go. Yo, 20 dwarves. In sooth, I know not why I am so sad. Let me remind you that trading's risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results, but please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. G'day, mate. How are ya? How's your mum? Jumbo? Ohio? Wait, look at the time. Konnichiwa. Actually, I don't have a watch. I feel a nay-nay. All right, cool. So welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of more than 18,000 foreign exchange traders. You look to your left, there's 9,000 people. You look to the right, there's 9,000 more people just like you on this journey with you, going through the same happiness, joy, pain, sunshine, rain, strife, struggle, right? Blood, sweat, and tears for years. So you don't have to do this alone. Thank you for being a subscriber of this community and all the good that you do. You're an inspiration to young children. And if you're get rich and powerful quick enough in Forex, young children will throw rose petals at your feet as you walk through life. So ask questions, get involved. I'll do my best to address any questions or concerns that you have. My name is Wayne McDonald. Been trading Forex for 20 years, so I can share some of my experience. The overriding goal is to help you put together trade plans. I already have the next 6 weeks planned out, maybe 7. 7.2 weeks, actually. Think about that. I have the next 7.2 weeks planned. So what you gonna do? Got a pocket full of pips, and my homeboys do too, right? So that's very cool. So that's all about planning, and that is the raison d'être. So once again, ask questions, get involved, take notes, write things down, and maybe, just maybe, you'll remember 1% of today's video. I'd like to thank Traders Way for being part of our community as well. You're going to need a trusted broker. How do you find a trusted broker? Well, they have to earn your loyalty and respect. Pretty simple, huh? So Traders Way values your education because they think, you know what, that might actually make you a better trader. Better traders tend to trade for longer periods of time and more often. Why? Because they make more money than they lose. So they stick around longer. You're a better client if you know what the heck you're doing. So that is my charge, is to work with you so that you and I can put together a whole bunch of energy and effort and put it all together, and boom, you become a success. Okay? It can't be all me. See, the problem with this watch is it's for diving, and it's got this little clip, and then the clip pops open, and it's always too big, too heavy. It's too heavy. Anyways, so thank you for being here. Thank you, Traders Way. Here's how you do it. You go to tradersway.com, you open up a demo account, and they'll earn your loyalty and respect. And if you do, when you are confident in your skills and your abilities, maybe you'll actually risk real money by opening up a live account. Cool, right? Tradersway.com. Coolio. So here we are. Here. So listening to an English dude yesterday. I think he was from London, but he said dogs. Oh, I like dogs. I'm like, dogs. I like dogs. I got to work on that accent. My friends from Manchester, they sound like this. Whoa. But dogs, I think dogs is London, isn't it? Dogs. All right. Yen down. Dollar trying to rotate down as well. Is this it? Is this buying day? Is this back in day? Well, I bought a few things recently. Right? I own several thousand apartments. I now own several thousand convenience stores and several thousand old folks' homes. Cool. So I'm a big real estate tycoon now, huh? Yeah. Yeah, I'm in Georgia, so it's dogs. Everything's dogs. Hey, thanks for the email, Johnny. That was cool. What are you doing up at like 3 a.m. sending me emails? But yeah, the only one, Kursk, I think, is the one I haven't seen. And then, Johnny, there's a couple of things I've seen on YouTube, like series, right? Like they're like 10, 12 episodes long. And I can't remember the names, but they're German. The whole thing's in German translated. Anyways. Cool. That's why Doge is a coin with the long O. Yeah, so I heard Elon Musk sent out a tweet today and made himself a few extra millions of dollars. Get up, have coffee, play with your kids, spam a bunch of dummies, and make a few $1 million before you even get in the car to go to work. Gee whiz. Gee whiz, man. Gee whiz. Gee whiz. All right. I had a thought today, though. I'm like, if I had bought Bitcoin when it was $1,000, I'd have $50,000. Like, who cares? Like, I think it matters a lot if you bought Bitcoin. Like, one of the things I was studying yesterday in my Bitcoin class is they're like, the first documented transaction using Bitcoin wasn't business to business, but a guy posted on his Reddit group or whatever it was. He would like to buy pizza using his Bitcoin. So some guy in California said, well, I'll buy the pizza for you and have it delivered. I'll just call Papa John's, right? And I'll send you the pizza. But you got to send me the Bitcoin. And I'll call up Papa John. I'll buy the pizza and have it delivered to your house. That was the first transaction. How much did he pay for the pizza to be delivered to his house? How much Bitcoin did he pay the guy in California? Because the buyer lived in Florida, and some guy in California said, "Oh, I'll do it." Right. So he got the Bitcoin, and then he called Papa John's and paid with cash. Yeah, 10,000 Bitcoin he paid for pizza. To be fair, it was 2 pizzas. Okay. So he paid 5,000 Bitcoin per pizza. Something like, what is it, $500 million or something? Yeah, 10,000 Bitcoin. But, to be fair, it was only worth about $10, right? So, anyways. It's $50,000 per Bitcoin. And he paid 10,000 Bitcoin. 50,000 times 10,000. Well, 1,000 times 1,000 is 1,000,000. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But once again, even if I bought it 1 Bitcoin for $1,000, and I remember when it hit 1,000, I'm like, I don't get it. I'm pretty skeptical. It's right. So anyways, it went from 1,000 to 50,000, a big percentage return. But the problem would have been back then is I wouldn't have bought a lot of Bitcoin, and therefore I wouldn't have a lot of Bitcoin now. So it was like, hey man, if you did it in the early days, cool, man, you were there. It's your story. Cool. All right, cool. Anyways. Let's start with commodities. Big crash yesterday in commodities. You guys following that? Yeah, that's a famous one, Mr. Kennedy. I remember I have a memory of something like that. I was on my way to be interviewed by CNN in New York City. They have a cool loft building in, I think it was a meatpacking district, and they had Consumer Reports in there. They had Yahoo Internet Life, so I was interviewed by them as well. So I did CNN first. Then I did Yahoo Internet Life, and there was a couple other media companies in this really cool building. But, I wanted to get, being interviewed by CNN is not your average day, right? So I'm like, and I'm in New York City, so I'm like, I got to get there early. I don't want to be stuck in traffic or whatnot. I can't get a cab, whatever, right? So I get there probably a half an hour early, and before going in, I decided, one of my techniques, by the way, when I'm jacked up and nervous, what I do is I focus on my feet, and I do that through mantra meditation, like walking a labyrinth. But in that case, I'm in the meatpacking district, right? So I get my shoe shine, which is a very similar thing. I'm trying to focus on my feet. My feet are getting, essentially massaged, right? And the dude wants to talk, and I'm trying to focus to channel my negative energy into the positive, earth. And he's giving me a stock tip. He's like, what do you do? I'm like, I'm a currency trader. Oh, well, now he's talking about the markets and this, that, and the other thing. And he just put a whole bunch of money into something. And I'm like, yep, dump it. I'm like, yep. And actually, you know what? I wasn't a currency trader. Oh my God, that was so long ago. I was not. No, I was a venture. It was before I was even a VC. Yeah, I was. That's right. I was doing a media tour for my startup. That's cool. Okay, that was a while ago. Okay, so that must have been. Now that I'm thinking about it out loud, right before the .com crash, and I lost everything. The stories we can weave, huh? Yeah, right before the crash. And I remember thinking that, like, hey, that's the cliche. When the guy shining my shoes is giving me stock tips, it's all over. And sure as shit, it was over. Yeah, was that 1929? Yeah, I'm guessing that must have been 99. So at that time, I was opening up an office in New York City. I had one in San Francisco, a film studio, actually. I was doing entrepreneurial porn for entrepreneurs. All right, so let's move on. .com. My oh my WTI kicking over here, baby pop. Okay, so trying to climb up, maintain momentum to the upside. Okay. Looks like I'm mean, right? Okay. It looks like we got quite the chat going. Am I missing anything? I think I might be missing something. Hope says, I find it quite comical that people think that the number one mass producer of electrical cars is unethical. No, what I mean is he pumps and dumps cryptocurrency, and I honestly think he just thinks average people are pathetic. He doesn't give a crap. Okay, and that could happen when you're a genius. Like the aggregate, who cares? Worthless. But anyways, no wonder at times he's going to give some hints of what the market could do. And after the daily webinar we have, market fires off in the direction he hints, giving us a chance to get in. Yeah, I guess. Cool. All right, so it looks like I'm not missing anything. I try to keep on top of the chat, so I'm doing my best, right? Can you talk about the earthquake reports? Oh, I missed that one. Did we have a major earthquake? Yeah, sorry. Right? No. You're not joking. No, it was a compliment. Yeah, I don't log into this live stream every day thinking I'm going to tell you what to do so you can get rich quick. That's boring to me. And it's not my job. Right? And the $1,000 a year I make on YouTube is just not enough money. Right? Right, it's just not enough money. So I'd rather. What's more interesting to me as a human being, as a person with a soul, right? I'm interested in helping you develop your skills so that you can trade. It's more interesting, right? Okay. Yeah, these yens were pretty good, huh? It's just more interesting as a life path for me personally. To like yesterday's meeting, in my swing trading group, just to see everybody's faces, to hear people talk, to see how far people have come in their abilities and their confidence. I mean, it's moving. It's palpable. It's palpable when you're in the room. It's really cool. Okay. Ken Choi was a bad boy. Ken's usually cool. What's up, Ken? All right. So, anyways, here these are all over. So let me get my drawing tool. Olin, that would be through here. I do that through YouTube. All right, so this projects this. Okay, but the conservative target is here. So there's not much more I can coach you on with this, except what we expect to have happened this week, by and large, has happened. Could Friday be an up day? Yeah, of course. So today, if you're a bull, you're going to enter there and you're going to target that. Okay, that's the monthly plan though. Okay, so yes, it could go higher. You could change this, and in this case, I'll just go to indicator, and I'll just change this from monthly to weekly and see how much juice is left for the week. And there's no juice left for the week. You see? Yeah, I got your email, Jean-Guy. So, yeah, I had family obligations right after. You know, the webinar was 3.5 hours long, or our meeting was 3.5 hours long. So as soon as it was done, I had to go. I had family obligations and stuff. And when I got back, I totally forgot and focused on my bottle of wine more than I focused on getting back into my office. So, yeah, I apologize. So let me bring that up now as a reminder. Okay, that should be a good reminder. Get that up there later. You know what? Maybe I can just do it now. Hang on. Upload. Upload Zoom 513 May 2021 War Room. All right, well, it's uploading as we speak. All right. Yeah, it's interesting, right? How when the neighbors making big investments and stuff, everybody's interested in what I do. By the way, I think I've mentioned that before. My mechanic, he's just totally interested in what I'm doing with Forex. And then he said to me the other day, he's like, "So, do you do a lot of crypto?" And I'm like, "No, I don't really do a lot of crypto. I receive it as payment for consulting fees and stuff." But I don't necessarily trade it, but obviously there's interest, so I'm taking a course at MIT. And he's like, "No way, how do I do that? How do you, all that kind of stuff." And then it's great. We rarely talk cars, right? And that's just the story of my life, which is interesting. It's very cool. People love Forex and crypto and all that. Okay, so let's get in here. So what I'm saying with this is you're going to have to make some decisions. Where we are now is quite reasonable levels of resistance, but we've already played that out. So now you're deciding whether you're going to try to drive this up even further next week. So how are you going to play it? Okay. Decisions, decisions, decisions. Let's drop into a smaller time frame. Oops, again, I'm just going to change the indicator instead of changing the chart. Do some day trading. Okay. Now we got to drop into Cinco. And yeah, so what do you want to do? Have you decided yet? Okay. Did you hear in the United States I don't have to wear masks anymore? It's over. I will survive. Yeah, it's over. I made it through. Congratulations, everybody. I'm going to postpone my trip to India, though. Okay. Well, I was at a school event yesterday, and there, and I live in Georgia, right? So, anyways, one couple slows molasses, hillbillies or something. He comes in and he doesn't have a mask. And they're like, you're in a school. The school requires people to have masks on. It didn't occur to him. So anyways, it's not that he forgot. I don't think he even has a mask. So they gave him a mask. But the funny thing is his wife wore a mask. Is that right? The Seychelles are getting crushed? No way. That's interesting. So anyways, she wore a mask, though. It didn't occur to him, but she, the wife, also slows molasses. And you run into these people in Georgia, for sure. And she wore it around her chin, though. She thought that would be helpful. So anyways, it's just funny. So it was announced yesterday, so the schools hadn't changed the rules. Now they probably have changed the rules. So I don't have to wear masks anymore if I don't want to. But I got the vaxxed. So basically, it's time to, the government is publicly shaming. They're going to create a list pretty soon. You'll have to wear a scarlet letter on your shoulder. You're going to have to start showing like your driver's license as ID and your vaccination card. So anyways. Yeah. No, I got you, Maida. All right. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, it's one of these things like you made a plan yesterday, I'm sure, for today. And one of the things to me is that you've already traded it. So sometimes I get in situations like this, like, what am I supposed to do to coach you? You're like, well, am I supposed to say you should be buying this candle and taking it up here? Okay, but Bull's already bought, right? You're already in here. And you probably took it, around what, London Open? And you based it sort of off of more of a weekly front run / monthly extension, right? So if you were going to be a buyer, you're in lower, and your goal here is if it makes a higher high, so now you're up here. If that's true, then you're going to jam your stop and not go for, right? Not go for, I mean, I guess you're going to try to throw, you're trying to throw it up into there, right? And then you have to decide, are you going for the monthly R2? You're like, monthly R2? Wayne, this is a daily pivot trade. Yeah, I know, but you're bigger than just a day trader, right? So, but that was a plan that you should have done yesterday, is I guess my point. Right? Yeah, Kennedy, I did the Scarlet Letter thing. I didn't go as far as that, but yeah. Didn't go as that far, but yeah. Who wrote the Scarlet Letter? Was it Hawthorne? It's interesting how poorly they teach these things in school, where people don't understand the concept or of society of these books, and I hope teachers understand them, right? All right, you're doing earthquake. Okay, so I don't know anything about the earthquake, so let me look into that. Okay. Japan, 6.8. That's big, but that's not crazy. Wait, that's May 1st. What are you guys talking about? What Japanese earthquake? Which one are you talking about? M6 6.2? Oh, yeah, that's not a big deal, guys. Unless it hit hard in a particular way. Friday, May 14th. Earthquakes in or near Japan. Let me find this. All right. So, look, earthquakes happen all the time, right? All the time, past 24 hours. Oh, look at that. Furniture. Right here. Yeah, 6.0. That's not that big of a deal. Have you guys ever been through an earthquake? 6.0 is like, oh, you felt it. 7.0 is holy crap. 8.0 is the end of the world. So, okay, there was a reasonable size earthquake. Yeah, that's not a big deal, guys. Remember, I'm not interested in earthquakes. I'm interested in the change of flow of capital. Okay. Nuno says, thank you for you reading the Bomb Hole book on fundamentals. It's more news related, right? But yeah, the opening is pretty good, right? So guys, don't do things like you see an earthquake and you're like, oh, I have to corner the market on Japanese yen. I've never said that. Okay. What you need is the change of flow of capital. So even if it's a small earthquake, if there's massive damage in a city or a massive follow-up tsunami, that creates $100 billion in damage, then money's going to have to flow back to Japan. Think of it this way. This might be a good analogy. Think about an earthquake in Japan being similar to a COVID shutdown in India. If the government shuts down the Indian economy, locking people in their homes, and you can't go to work, okay? Many people in that situation will need access to cash. Okay? You might have a lot of money invested, and and suddenly if you realize you're going to be locked down for 2 or 3 weeks in your house or longer maybe, you're going to say, wow, I'm going to need some cash. I need to liquidate some investments and have some cash because, because of this lockdown. Okay? That's what changes the flow of capital. So if you're an, Indian national and you got some money invested in America or Europe or something, okay, you cash out of some of those investments and you bring the money home. Now you have cash in the bank and now you can do whatever you need to do. Okay? To supplement your lost income. You understand that part? You need cash to supplement your lost income. Okay? Now, there's lots of other costs and externalities to a shutdown, but we're foreign exchange traders. I have to track the flow of money over borders. If the money doesn't cross a border, then it's irrelevant to us. So that's what I say when there's a shutdown, the Indian rupee gets strong. And then the central bank's going to have to react. Okay? Now, when we're talking about earthquakes, I'm not talking about the earthquake itself. If the earthquake creates a social dilemma such that cash will be needed, like, oh my God, our whole town has been destroyed. It's the same as a lockdown because now you can't go to work. But now you also need cash to rebuild your house, to buy a new car. Because your car is gone. Your house destroyed. So again, I'm not talking about the social consequence of that, but the behavioral finance part of that is, oh my God, I'm going to need some cash to rebuild my house and buy another car. So investors, people with money in Japan have a lot of money invested outside of Japan. So they're like, I need to go to cash, need to liquidate some assets, go to cash, and then reinvest the cash or deploy the cash, if you will, by buying another car and fixing up my house. That would reverse the flow of capital from Japanese households investing overseas to, right? That's money leaving Japan. That's the Japanese yen getting weak. To suddenly, oh my God, a big portion of Japan is bringing money home so that they can deploy the capital inside of Japan. Well, that reverses the flow of money. That's what I care about. 6.0, depends, right? I think I remember one earthquake in Southern California. What was it? The ridge, the North Ridge. I think the North Ridge earthquake wasn't that big, like 6.2 or something, but it shut down all of LA. No one ever. LA is so poorly built that even a little earthquake destroyed a big part. So it's like it's not necessarily even the size of the earthquake, although Japan is so well built, the 6.0 is nothing. You're like, oh, look at that, it was an earthquake, woo, right? 7.0 is a magnitude bigger. What's a magnitude? 10 times bigger. So explain this to me, okay? There's $1,000, okay? We'll right? Well, I guess we'll do it this way. 6.0 earthquake is equal $6,000. Okay? Okay, cool. Right? Not chump change. but not a fortune either. Okay, 7.0 is equal to $60,000. Okay, and an 8.0 earthquake is like you suddenly receiving or losing $600,000. Okay. So you're like, yeah, 6.0, all right. But if it was 6.5, it's like 30,000. Okay. It sounds like, oh, it's a 6 point something, 6.5 earthquake. Well, how big is that? Well, it's like instead of you losing $6,000, you lost $30,000. Would you consider that significantly different? Right? Yeah. So there's a big difference. So, okay. So, yeah, it sucks if you live in Japan and that part of the world, and you know, but I don't think I'd have to research, right? Because again, it's not the size of the wand, but the magic of the wizard. It's not the size of the earthquake; it's the damage it causes, and if it changes the behavior of Japanese citizens such that they bring money home, then the Japanese yen gets strong and you have your trade. Okay? But as you mentioned, people might panic from a tsunami impact. Well, once again, it's not the panic that matters. It's not the tsunami that matters. That's a local problem. We're foreign exchange traders. So like domestic GDP doesn't impact us. Domestic the domestic pause to the economy from massive damage, once again, is a domestic issue. But if the domestic issue causes a behavior of bringing money back to Japan, now we have a foreign exchange trade, right? You see? Right? Now, if the behavior, we're interested in the behavioral finance. If the behavior brings money home, we're buying Japanese yen. Okay. And once again, if you have a moral problem with this, you can make a lot of money buying Japanese yen and then donate the profits to charity and do some good. Okay? Do whatever but sitting there not doing anything is probably not the right thing either. Okay, so that's that. Here's a Kiwi trade. Yep. Very cool. Okay, we got that one set up yesterday. Let's take a look at this one. Okay, this one's set up really nice. Very good. Let's do this one. Okay. And this one, whoa, quite a slowdown, huh? Quite a slowdown. So, like, we could probably do something like this. Let's do it like this. It's a little weird. CAD, Aussie, Euro, Pound, Kiwi. Okay. Is there another yen I could add to this? I guess USD yen, just to throw it in there. Okay, cool. And what template is that? Swing trading or something. Swing trading bullish bias. Well, I don't actually have a bullish bias on that, but let's just do simple. All right, done. So now we go better. Okay, so let's do this. Insert, no. What am I doing? points. I got to do it here. Insert indicators, custom price action pivot points. Okay. Oh, once again, insert indicators, custom price action pivot points. Okay. Insert indicators, custom price action pivot points. Okay. Indicate. Oops. Insert indicators, custom price action pivot points. Okay. Insert indicator, custom price action pivot points. Okay. One more time. Insert indicators, custom price action pivot points. Okay. What we're kind of looking for, and let me kind of reset everything to the, hour. What we're looking at is congruency, like if this pair is bullish, how bullish is it? Okay. And if it's not, how not is it? Okay, so let's kind of zoom in here. And what I'm looking at is the angle, okay, of my price action pivot points. Let me zoom in on this one a little bit. Okay, are they the same? By the way, someone nailed this Kiwi yen last night in the swing trading group. And I'm like, yeah, it's mediocre. Well, it's not mediocre now. So, yeah, whoever did that, fantastic job. Conrad, wasn't it? That was Conrad's trade, I think. Cool. So, different, right? See, what I'm looking at is the angles here. So let's make this a mean. Let's make this a mean. Let's make this a mean. Mean. Mean and mean. Okay, they should all be going up. And I think we could agree that they mostly are. USDN I don't trade, and you can see why. I don't know. You make your decision there. But everything else should be up and is up, but look at over the period. Well, we call that relative strength. Right on, Thiago. Yeah, which one was your plan? Was it euro dollar? I think. It's uploaded now. Oops. So, anyways, this is relative strength, guys. Oh, you did pound Swissy. That's right. You were in group 1. That's right. You were right straight out of the gate. Yeah, that was nice. Is it working? Before I look at it. And then let me live stream. Where did my Vimeo go? There it is. All right. Oh, where could it be? All right, let me. Okay, I have to go. Download, replace analytics. No, I have to open it, I think, now. It's a different. Yeah, still there. Let's see. Advanced. Showcase weekly war room meetings. It's 43% converted. All right, so it should be there in about a half an hour. You guys should be able to watch it. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Pound Swissy's probably, if it's going, it's probably just going now. Right? Game on today, right? Well, I've already deployed my capital, so everything's happy, fun times. Pound Swissy. Okay. On the 4 hour, just waking up. Yeah, look at that. Right on your price, dude. Nice. Okay. Good job, dude. Nice trade. Cool. So you're looking at this on a 15-minute chart. This is the Agos trade plan. And you're looking at it like, well, how could you possibly know this? Well, he planned it yesterday, so not a problem. Very cool. Right on your zone. Now you got a dip. Okay. Yeah. Good, dude. Nice trade. Okay. Okay. But your target, if I recall, well, let's not recall. Let's just do the work. Your target, if I recall, we have to go way out now. Higher than that, so we got to go even further. Was it 134 or 135, I think, right? Cool. Nice. Oh, the big one. Yeah, the 1,200. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I pushed it out far, but I'm like, okay, all right, that's best case, right? But we still had our base case. I think the base case was what, $1.34 or something, which is, still 500 pips. Yeah. Anyways. Cool. All right, let's go to commodities. Commodities really came off yesterday. I don't have access to show you copper and iron ore. We talked about iron ore, right? Right. We talked about iron ore yesterday in the group. Iron ore. I think we were talking about South Africa and iron ore and New Zealand and iron ore, I think. And then Poland, that's right. And we're talking about Poland and iron ore. All right, so iron ore price today, chart. I guess I'll have to ask for a chart. Iron ore price today, no. Market index, iron ore spot price and charts. All right. See, I was telling you, I bought some furniture, and my couches will take 6 months. The chairs will take 11 weeks, if I remember correctly. 11 weeks for the chairs, 22 weeks for the couches. And I bought this ginormous coffee table. It's probably 5 feet by 5 feet square. I'd have to look at it. I don't think it's bigger than that, but big. It's either 5 or 6 feet in each direction. So, but it's going to take months to get the furniture. Custom dress shoes. Yeah. 4 months. All right. Clever writer. Who is that? No. Did I miss? I think I missed something, or I said something. Growth in China. Yeah. Yeah, this isn't really giving me what I need. It's not accurate enough. What can we do? Maybe CNBC. That's all? That's it? Huh. I guess it's just won't even give me details. All right, well, you know, they're content creators, so okay. So we can go to like copper then. I want to do iron ore. Okay. Well, this doesn't show it. I thought there was a decline that we just had. I wouldn't call that anything significant so far. Well, okay, so on 5-day, yeah, we've had a bit of a decline. Okay. 1 month. But nothing to worry about. So anyways, I thought we were having a bigger decline. Not really. All right, so so far seems aight. Okay, trap it in our range. Okay, so right now I'm okay to just leave it in the range. Oh, by the way, I got gasoline yesterday. This woman shows up while I'm at the pump. She shows up in a Tesla. There's a long line of cars. She pulls up, blocks other drivers, leaves her car at the pump. She doesn't have a gas tank. She parked at the pump. And she's trying to get gas into an empty grape juice container. And it don't work. So then she leaves her car and goes and talks to the attendant. And he's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, I can't fill this jar. It was really hilarious. I'm just blocking everything. I'm like, dude, oh my God. Like, come on, dude. All right. So, yeah. Just it's stuck where it is. Let's do some gold. Gold. All right. So, we've gone from the 382 up to 1 standard deviation from the negative sloping mean. Okay. Lower high, perhaps. Or are you going to buy the higher low? The perspective is based on your bias. Okay. So let me make it sort of an orangey color. So if you were a bull, you'd be thinking this. Yeah, she was a non-average person. It was just funny. Yeah. To be fair, I think she was originally from another country. And in that country, you would probably show up with jugs and empty water bottles and empty grape juice bottles and buckets, and you would fill it up full of liquid fuel and throw it in your car and drive away. Yeah, you can't do that in the United States. That's all. You just can't. It's illegal, and the pumps are designed so you can't really do it. So she couldn't do it, and he's like, "What the f are you doing?" It's my grape juice bottle. I'm trying to fill this full of gasoline, dude. You have $100,000 Tesla, right? So I don't know. I don't know what she was doing, but it's not going to fly here. So that's all. She was having a learning experience. But like I said, to be fair, she probably has always had scenes like that where that would have been the normal thing. Yeah, no, it was funny. It's funny. There was no gas for days. So there's huge lines of people in panic mode trying to get gas. And this woman's blocking people with her Tesla. Like, it's really funny. I mean, I couldn't believe him. Like, who the frick is driving this Tesla in line? Like, there's people out, like, the line isn't around the corner, right? Like, what the hell is she doing here with the Tesla? And I'm telling you, 275 milliliters that she could probably put into this thing. Maybe I'll go big. Let's say it was a full liter. Like, what are you gonna do with this? I mean, it was really funny. And I texted my wife. I'm like, oh my God, you should see this. Right. So I don't get out much, by the way. So when I go out into the world, I'm truly, truly amazed. Like, I probably should leave my property more often, but when I do, I don't. It's not that cool. So you should see me. I get so excited. I'm like, I'm in a Walmart. This is like regular people stuff. It's just funny. I'm like, I'm so excited. I'm like, how do they do this and how do they do that? And they market this and do these prices work? And how does that work? And why do some people use the self-checkout and why don't they? And why did they put this chair here? What's this chair all about? And how, do they pay rent to have this tax service right here? And the hair cutting place, I wonder what their rent is. That makes sense. You can drop your kids off and they can get their $5 haircuts while you're doing your shopping. I'm like, that's genius and actually quite convenient. And like, I just totally get excited, and my wife and kids hate shopping with me. Yeah, no, totally. And then I go to a Target, and I'm like, this is the same crap they had 5 years ago. Like, nothing's changed. Like, oh my God, it's the same place. Like, nothing changes, right? And I'm like, this place is weird. Right? And so anyways, yeah, I don't get out much, but I don't think I'm missing much. All right. Take a look at some exotics. Okay. This is one of our swing trades from last night. Who did this? It was group 5, right? I mean, it was like right there, 1420, I believe was the number. And the number was 1420. Was it number 4? Yeah, good job, huh? Good job. Yeah, good job, group number 4. Look at that, 3 points, nothing but net. Sangham says, yeah, 5-year-olds are intelligence requires running an iPad, therefore cars are going to be running an iPad. I watched a very interesting study a couple of years ago where there were toddlers, right? Toddlers. They can walk maybe, but they sat a lot, right? Like when you give these kids a toy, they sit down immediately, boom, and they play sitting down because they're more comfortable sitting down. So what I'm saying is they're quite young. And they give them a toy, a digital toy. I can't remember if it was like a teddy bear with with an LCD face or something. But the game starts out where it reads the kid's face. And at first it starts where it's like, haha, the kids are having fun. And then with their face, like you make an angry face and it runs away from you. And then you make a happy face and it comes to you. And no joke, like in 30 minutes, these kids are doing everything, totally controlling this toy with facial expressions. It's like truly amazing. They can't read or write, but they can control a machine with their facial expressions. That's where we're going. It's pretty amazing stuff. Yeah. Pretty amazing stuff. Yeah, but people are still getting bags of plastic gas. Yeah. So anyways, cool. Like these are all from yesterday. There's nothing for me to add to a lot of these. It's just standard technical analysis on stuff now, right? So now you got this trapped in a range. What's the best way to kind of get in on it if you're late? There's never a good answer to that. I don't know why you'd want to do it late, but let's try it. Like you could have a move like this or a move like this. And if it does one or both of these things, then you'd get an opportunity to try again if you missed the first one. So the first one would be something like this or that. Okay. Now, of course, it could just do sort of the opposite. It could just come down, up, and down. To me, it's the same thing, only opposite. So in this case, your entry would be here. Okay. Is that right? We live in public. Interesting. Yeah, my biggest fears have to do with the government. And I'm not even really a libertarian. But there's a lot of bad in the world, and very often it's humans organizing together. And I think we must have, a dog pack kind of spirit in us somewhere. Where I remember when I lived in the San Francisco Bay Area, the Oakland Hills had a problem. Now, if you don't know Oakland, the Oakland Hills are very, very steep hills. Generally affluent people, nice homes and stuff like that. And their problem had to do with, Fluffy and Patches and other dogs. Okay, imagine your dog Fluffy and your neighbor's dog Patches and your other dog, what's another dog, right? Wolfie. So Wolfie and Patches and Fluffy get together and turn into wolves. Literally. All of a sudden you could be walking down the street, walking up the street, and all of a sudden there's like a pack of 15 dogs. And they're mean as like, they go from, cute little animals that play with your kids in your house to suddenly like wolves killing animals and attacking humans once in a while, right? Pretty amazing. I think there must be something like that in humans. Maybe because chimpanzees will have wars, and they'll take prisoners and they'll torture and they'll humiliate and stuff like. Really, like chimpanzees will torture and humiliate, which is like, whoa. Now we're talking not just raw animal instinct. We're talking about, like, wow, to humiliation and stuff. And wow, it's like crazy that, right, the emotional side of that. So I don't know, like it seems to me government always starts with good intentions and then leads to some pretty bad things. So how are we going to de-escalate Israel and Palestine right now? And no, Lebanon's going to get on the deal too. This could be a full-out war in the next 24 hours. What are you going to do about that as a currency trader? Let's not talk about the politics now, but it's hard to stand down when you're an aggregate. Who's going to be the one that makes the, right? So what are you guys going to do? I'm sure you're paying attention to this in regards to managing the risk in your portfolio. What are you going to do if there's a war this weekend in the Middle East? Okay. Run into the arms of America. That's you too, I think, isn't it? Okay. Risk off would lead to yen strength, dollar strength, and Swiss franc strength. Now, at first, it would be like an Israel, Palestine, Lebanon problem. But then it would probably lead to, oh my God, is this a whole shutdown of the Middle East? What about oil? Okay. What about oil? Oil supply out of Iraq, for example. Okay. So what could happen? We get a ground war. Israel goes into Palestine with tanks and airplanes. Okay. Then what? Lebanon is going to get money from Iran and participate. Therefore, Egypt has to move forward because they want to maintain boss mode. So now if there's a war with Israel, like, oh, okay, well, there's Palestine. There's always trouble with Palestine. Oh, but Iran's getting involved through Lebanon and Hezbollah. So then all of a sudden, like, well, if Egypt doesn't do anything, then it's not boss anymore. So now it's got to move forward. And then Iraq is going to have problems. And now what about supply out of there? And all of a sudden, like, oh my God, this whole thing's out of control. Yeah, Suez was blocked or whatever, something, right? Mr. Kennedy says Iran joins immediately. Well, Iran would already be involved. Where did the rockets come from? The rockets' red glare, right? So anyways, so this could turn into a shitstorm pretty fast. Think of it. 10,000 soldiers nervous, staring at 10,000 soldiers nervous. They don't like each other. They don't trust each other. They have generations of hate for each other. One soldier pulls the trigger. What goes down? Right? Things can escalate very quickly. So, do you have a contingency plan for this? I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm telling you, if it does happen, what is your contingency plan? By the way, last year, the year before, and probably the year before that, and probably 10 years ago, I asked you to think about these problems and write them down. I actually said, have a book. And if you see Japanese earthquake, turn to the page and give yourself notes of exactly what you should be doing. If there's a terrorist attack, you should have notes. Just flip over terrorist attack. Okay? And then, right? Terrorist attack UK. Terrorist attack France. Terrorist attack Germany. Terrorist attack United States, for example. And you're like, oh, now I know what to do. So what are you going to do if we shut down the Middle East? What's the consequence of this? And are you going to be on it fast enough? What's going to happen to oil? what's going to happen to gold? Something, something, something. Hang on a second. All right. Right? That's chaos theory. No. No. I mean, I guess you could think of it that way, but really it's a change of flow of capital. Okay? Oil supplies get threatened. If Suez, I don't think anything will happen to Suez, but if it did, what's going to happen to the supply of other things? Like what happened, when it was closed before, like all of a sudden supply chains of everything, right? And so I don't know. It depends on who, it depends on when, it depends on what, it depends on how, right? So you need to actually think about it. So I just gave you essentially the same advice I've given many, many times in the past. What are you going to do? And you should plan for it now. Okay? What should you do? Plan for it now. What will happen to oil? What will happen to gold? What will happen to dollar? What will happen to Swiss franc? What will happen plan it now. If you can't plan it now, you're not going to do it anyway, so it doesn't matter. La 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 la. And by the way, just to kind of make a point, if it does happen, people are going to overreact. The media is going to freak out, and unprepared, emotional people will make bad decisions. That's why I want you to think about it now, because it'll be 10 times worse on CNN than it actually is. Okay? But nonetheless, it will be important for a couple of weeks, and then we'll find out it wasn't necessarily as bad as it'll be bad for Palestine, it'll be bad for Israel. All right? But as far as the global macroeconomics, we'll say, oh, wow, we might have overreacted a little bit. Okay? So I need you to think now, before emotion, before hype and hyperbole, right? World War III? No. No. Okay? No. So plan, be prepared, and take advantage of the situation. Once again, you're like, oh, well, right? Oh, well, I don't feel morally right making money off the situation. Well, then make a ton of money and then donate it to the charity of your choice. And they'll be happy. They'll say, oh my God, we totally needed this. Okay? Good. Now you did some good. You made the world a better place. Why? You were prepared. You had a plan. You were ready, willing, and able to execute. You executed. You pulled a profit out. Turns out everyone freaked out and it was overhyped. So then the market comes back. We find equilibrium. Meanwhile, while we were out of equilibrium, you turned a profit and then you gave it to your charity of choice. Good. Because that money wasn't going to the charity. You made that happen. You just changed the flow of capital. Good. Right? If that sends your kid to a good university, you change the flow and destiny of your bloodline. Okay? Cool. You directed the flow of capital during a bad situation to make a better situation. Okay? That's called progress and productivity. Good. Great. Okay. So congratulations to those that are on this RAND trade. Back at 14. Okay, we've been here a long time. Okay. Master Trader says media will be in a race to who gets to report the situation first. Yeah. So I don't watch the media, even though you see all these things we have. I honestly don't watch. Like my chuckle, like I came into the office right before the webinar, turn the screens back on, and I'm not going to say which news outlet, but one of these news outlets was frozen because everything went to sleep last night. And they were running a story about analysts believe Disney is a buy. And I chuckled because that was 12 hours ago. And 12 hours ago, they were telling their viewers, their analysts or whoever's analysts thought Disney was a good buy. Yesterday, Disney stock price. Oh, is that right, eh? That's what they said yesterday? What? It was 80, now it's 70? Like, yeah. That's why I don't watch TV. How funny, huh? You would have lost $10 a share if you're like, oh, well, such and such media outlet told me that it's a good buy. Don't listen to journalism majors. Right? Right? I was trying to do a Mickey Mouse voice, but I can't think of it. Oh, I see. I can't hear his voice. It's interesting. It's been so long. Almost want to counter trend it. Yeah, well, that's not what I'm saying. Of course, once you know, check it out. Down 3%, and the market hasn't even opened yet. So I used to do all the voices when I read stories to my children when they're little itty bitties. And the Winnie the Pooh stories were the most difficult because there were so many characters, right? I don't know. You could buy Disney stock if you want to. Oh, the days. Oh, the days. Those were the days. Okay. They're only there to help the big money sick dummies. Yeah. Well, it's called selling your book. So someone goes on TV and says, man, you should buy Walt Disney from me because I want to sell it to you at the top. Right? So anyways. So, but yeah, so maybe I buy it. Okay. Maybe I buy it now, but not yesterday. Cool. Right. Year to date. What's the low? $1.63. We're still like $1.80. We were at 200. So yeah, Yeah, we're basically at the January 1st open. But, you know, it's difficult psychologically. And, you know, it's difficult. What can I say? Let me say what I'm thinking. I did a special webinar right here about buying everything. Okay? Everything. The dollar's going to tank. The yen's going to tank. The stock market's going to rally. And it's going to rally and rally and rally and rally and rally. Like huge, right? So you're like, well, that's still 50% higher than where we are now after this decline of 10 or 20%. So what do? I'm like, I kind of want this again, right? Well, that would be counterintuitive because then it wouldn't be the same market. So how do you do this? And I'll just leave you with this thought as we, drift off into the weekend. There were those in 1997 that said stock prices cannot go up. It's unsustainable. It makes no sense. The math doesn't work out. How could a dot-com company with no revenue, yet alone profits, be worth anything? Or how could a company that has revenue but no profits, no chance of profits, in fact, they have more losses than they have revenue, like how could a company like Amazon survive? It's stupid. It's worthless. It cannot go higher. And they said that in 97. They said that in 98. They said that in 99. Okay. Then they said it in 2000. So let's say they predicted 9 of the last 3 recessions. So I feel based on monetary policy, we're in the same situation. How the frickazee could you pay $200 for Disney? Well, because in 10 years, it's going to be $400. How do you know that? Well, I don't. And I'm not making a stock prediction on Walt Disney. Do your own job, right? But they expect to add 100 million more people on their internet service. They're opening their parks to tourism. Movie theaters are going to resume playing movies. That's a lot of Disney stuff. Now, the major question is that already priced in? I don't know. You're going to have to make a decision. Is it going to be worth $400 in 10 years? See, if you're a day trader, you're just going to flip it and make a few pennies. Cool, right on. Okay? But what if you're in it for 5 years? Okay? So it's a different play, right? So I'd love to buy it at $150 a share. Okay. But if deposits are up 25% at JP Morgan Chase, if deposits are up 25%, are people waiting to go to Disney and drop $3 or $4 grand on a little vacation, staying at a hotel and paying park tickets and parking fees and buying lunch and dinner? Okay. Is that where they're going to spend their stimulus money? And what have they been waiting for? Summer? They're like, oh, I want to go to Disney again. I miss Mickey Mouse. I miss whatever, right? I miss whatever park they want to go to, but I don't want to wear a mask. Oh, get bonus. You don't have to wear a mask anymore. I miss the movie theater. I live in a tiny apartment. I watch movies on TV. I want the big screen again. Oh, look, movie theaters are open again. Maybe they'll play a Disney movie. Remember, Disney isn't just cartoons. Okay? They bought 21st Century and a bunch of others. So that, if you're at a movie theater, you might be watching a Disney movie, right? right? So anyways, what do you think? 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, where are we going to be? Is today your buy? I don't know. My whole point is think about it, make a decision, and if you do a good job of it, you will make money. What's the problem? Okay? And if you don't have money to start with, work 7 jobs. Sell everything you have. Stop buying fancy shoes. Stop dreaming about fancy cars and fancy watches. Okay? Live meager and poor for as long as you possibly can. Okay? Buy nothing, right? Consume nothing. And invest everything. And at the end of this life, your kids are going to be better off. And you'll say, that was a wise investment. I changed my bloodline. Okay? Your brother, he's just going to buy big TVs and fancy shoes. Oh, I got shoes just like Kanye West. Uh-huh. Okay? Remember, you have choices to make. Okay? Consume, invest, or live on government money. Okay? Guaranteed poverty, wealth generation through productivity, and moving your steady state up. Savings, sorry, my mouse is broken again. Savings is equal to investment. It's the same thing. If you consume, you got no money, got no car, you got no woman, and there you are. If you live on government, you're dead broke anyways, who cares? Get yourself out of that trap. Get a job. Well, if you spend all your money on a fancy TV, then you got a problem again. Okay? Your money, your consumption should be like food and rent. It's hard having kids. Kids are expensive. I get it, man. I'm not belittling you. I get it. It's tough. But instead of buying stuff like fancy shoes and fancy clothes and fancy TVs and a fancy cell phone. Look, my cell phone has 9 cameras. Bitch, you only got 8. Like what? How stupid is that? And what you want to do at some point, because you're saving, you save money. You can get to a point where you stop renting and have the landlord get rich. Instead, you invest into a house. 20% down, 80% you borrow from a bank, and now you're an investor, you're an owner, you are in business. Government's going to take from you. Make more. Stop figuring out a way to pay less taxes. Figure out a way to make more money so you can invest more. And you'll, at the end of your life, all this I will buy you as much C as you possibly want. Anything you want, you can have. It'll be silly. It'll be ridiculous because you deferred and delayed your instant gratification. Your savings turns into investment. Your savings turn into investment. Your savings turn into investment. Your savings turn into investment. And then you can have unlimited C. Because you'll get to a point where your money makes you so much money, you don't need any more money. Money is stupid. Money is worthless. Money is worthless. When you save it in the bank, it's worthless. When you change it into investment, what happens? Money, then what? Turns into money, more money. Okay? My mouse is really messed up. You get that for a while, but now you have more money, so that more money makes more money, but more than that combination, more money. And then that grows, and then you have more money, and then you have too much money, so you have to reinvest the money, and that money becomes more money, and that money becomes more money, and you'll think one day like, oh my God, people go to work to earn $85,000 a year, and they work 40 or 50 hours a week. They have an idiot boss that's totally unqualified and extremely unhelpful and stifles productivity in the office, but also makes it crappy to go to work. Like, this idiot boss of mine is ruining the existence of being here is bad because of this loser who makes twice as much. He makes 160 to come in and ruin everything. So that productivity falls and the quality of life that you live sucks. So then you get in your car, which costs you $500 a month plus gas and maintenance, and you drive an hour to your work so you can spend what? An hour making dinner, and so you can have 20 minutes with your kids before they go to do their homework and go to bed late. And now you're down to wine and pills so you can sleep. Then you got to get up and commute again. Holy shit. Oh my God. It's not enough money, because then you got your 85 minus 30%, and that goes to food, which is, right, way up, and rent and car and stuff. And what do you have at the end of it? Nothing. And they're like, well, life will be so much better if I made $185,000. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be better. Not much. Okay, now, right? Right? Not much. It won't be much better. It won't. Okay? Maybe now you can afford to buy instead of rent. That's probably about it. Maybe you own your car instead of lease your car. Won't change dramatically. You won't be scrambling for groceries all the time, but you'll still be stuck there for a very, very long time, probably till the end of your life. And you'll retire with not enough. Okay? Your Forex is a business. It has unlimited potential. You don't have an idiot loser job or boss that stifles your love and creativity for the world. You manage and control everything. You want a candle while you work? Have a candle. You want music while you work? Have music. There's no inventory, no, right? No customer service unless you're managing other people's money. Okay, all this stuff, it's a wonderful small business. You control when you work, what you do for your work, how you do it, how much time you spend. Do you want to sit and read central bank reports over there outside in the warm sun? And then you get exhausted. I'm so exhausted reading the central bank report. Oh, look, my kids are coming home from school. I'm going to go upstairs and hang with them for 30 minutes, see what their day was like. I don't leave the house, which means I don't commute. I don't listen to the radio. I don't watch TV. I just like, this is great. It's good. I want you to look at Forex differently. It's about being prepared, about making tough decisions, about thinking ahead, but also not getting rich quick, about getting rich slow, about thinking like an investor, thinking about the future and preparing for the now. What will you do if there's a war this weekend in the Middle East? I invite you to make money if you can, and then invest the money. You can invest it into your real estate. You can invest it into your stock portfolio, your retirement account, your Forex account. You can invest it into a nonprofit. You can invest it into your children's college savings account. But I want you to do something. Be productive. And if you're always focusing on that, like, what can I do this weekend to be a better trader? Are you reviewing all your trades? Really? I wrote a whole book on it. This is how you become successful in Forex. Read the book. You print out all your trades right after you make them. Cool. Then on Saturday, you print out all your charts post-trade. You analyze them. How'd you do? Was it good? Was it bad? What would you do different? Anything? Why would you do it differently? Analyze all these things. If you made 25 trades, it's going to take you a while. If you made 50 trades, it's going to take you a lot more. If you made 3 trades, you made 3. Not a lot of room for error if you're only making 3, right? So, and then what are your strengths and weaknesses? What did you do well? Do you create a checklist? I did this well. I did this well. I did this well. This sucked. 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 This could have been a little better, which kind of sucks. So of the 8 things that you could have done better, which ones are you going to work on next week? Are you going to be on these swing trades? Are you going to be on the monthly trades? Are you paying attention to seasonality? Are you learning fundamentals? What technical indicators are you trying to improve on? What about your timing? Multiple time frame analysis. How are you doing on that? Are you good with correlation? What about intermarket correlation? Gold goes up. What do? Right? Oil goes down. Are you selling the Noki? What the hell is the Noki? Okay. What are you doing? How are you being productive? Well, I make a bunch of trades and, they work out. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. That's not productive. That's busy. If you want a busy job, work in a factory. They'll keep you busy. Hey, boss, I made 400 widgets today. Oh, dang it. How come you didn't make 500? You don't pay me enough. Shut up! Okay? You want to live like that? I never forget. I always call her Kathy. That's not her real name. But this woman every day at 4 p.m. would make a bag of popcorn in the office kitchen. Half the time she'd burn it because apparently she can't click the button the right number of times. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's Kathy? What the hell's the problem? Every single day she'd stink up the whole office with her popcorn. Oh my God. You're like, oh my God. Can you take that outside? Like, do you have to stink up the whole office with your popcorn? It always drives me nuts. And of course, I'm going to blame Kathy again. She's like, did you know it's Timmy's birthday this week? And Jane. They both have birth. We're going to meet at 4:00 for cake. You're like, oh my God, do your job. Just like, I don't care. Timmy's kind of an idiot. He's lucky to be working here. I don't want to hang out with him. And Jane, she's cool. But seriously, what is she, 4? We have to give her cake and cookies and ice cream? Dude, like, seriously, just do your freaking job. If I needed a friend, I would probably not be hanging out with this group. I remember thinking, right? Like, I hired Jane because she's an ass kicker, but it doesn't mean we have to be friends and hang out and pool parties and have milk and cookies at 4:00 every afternoon. Like, dude, Jane should be on the phone closing a deal. And if she does that, I'll give her a bonus. If not, she'll be fired. Can we just, right? So do I miss the office? No. Do I miss commuting? Parking? I used to pay what? $400 a month for parking? Like, gee, just a park? Under the Bay Bridge, $400 a month. But you know what? I could walk to work from there. But no, I don't miss any of that crap. What a waste of time. What a waste of money. Okay? Yeah. Right? What we have is so awesome. And that stupid job is guaranteed poverty. And it's not going to change the bloodline of your children and your children's children, right? They'll be stuck in mediocrity. That's how the system works. Okay? It's how the system works. So you got to rage against the machine. And when you're a Forex trader, look how awesome this is. Down 5%. I love it. When you're in control of the way to control your destiny is to control your income. Okay? And then you take your income and you convert it into investment. Why? Because the investment produces an income. So now you have more income, which you can control, and you invest that and it makes more income. But also it appreciates over time. So now your net worth is up and you have multiple sources of income, and then your net worth goes up more because you invest that and you have even more sources of income. And then when you're old and gray, you're like, I don't need to work anymore. I have so much income coming out of it's coming out of the yin yang. All these assets are becoming a problem. It's becoming a problem. I remember when I was raising money for one of my startups, I met with this guy. I wouldn't call him a billionaire, but certainly a millionaire. And he was great because he had holes in his sweaters and stuff. That's what a very wealthy person looks like. Holes in their sweaters. Why? He didn't go out and buy a $900 sweater just because he's a multimillionaire. Oh, well, people will love me if I have this expensive sweater on. No, he had holes in it and stuff. And he's like, son, that was a really good presentation, right? I was a kid back then. And he's like, son, that was really, really good. He's like, I'd like to invest, but, my family and I are trying to divest out of my oil business, right? So he had invested into oil pump jacks. So he owned hundreds of pump jacks all throughout Oklahoma and Texas and Southern California and stuff like that. And he's like, I'd like to invest and stuff, but money's so complicated, because it's all tied up in assets and it's complicated. And there he is. He's got more money than he could possibly spend. And he's like, but, I'd like to give you some, but money's complicated and stuff, so I'm not going to invest, which is really a nice way of saying, piss off, kid. But I remember looking at him, and he was the real success. You'd look at him go, wow, really? This guy's got $100 million in the bank? Yeah, he has a hole in his sweater, stuff like that. Owns his own home, right? Drives an old car. Okay? But that means what? If he doesn't drive a $100,000 car and he's not wearing $900 sweaters, look, it's Ralph Lauren Purple Label. If he did stuff like that, he'd be poor. You get that concept? Instead, he bought pump jacks. He invested into oil businesses. He owned assets. He was an owner. He used all his money in investment. And therefore, he was dead broke. Sure, he could buy a sweater, but he's like, dude, that's a lot of money. You're like, you have $100 million in the bank. Do you know how he did it? Because he was always poor. Yeah, but it's this idea, though. It's not the frugality, because I think frugal very often is like hoarding your cash, saving. Like this is like a depression way of looking at it, I think, right? Eat your food because there's starving children in China. I'm like, dude, when was the last time you were in China? Right? Turn off the light because we're trying to save electricity. Like, dude, these are all LED light bulbs. Like, what do you mean, right? What I mean is take all your money and invest it so that your own. Get big. That's not frugal. Get big, become a monster investor. And everything you touch rains cash out of the sky. But your TV is 10 years old. Your phone is 3 years old. You're like, oh my God, that's an iPhone 8? I have the iPhone 13 and it matches my Ralph Lauren outfit, right? You're like, oh my God, right? All right, jump into your leased Mercedes and go do what you got to do, right? But I'm an owner and I'm a boss. And by the way, when you're boss, you come last. If you've ever owned a small business, what it means to be a boss is you take the risk, you make the decisions. If things go wrong, it's the consequence, but it also means everybody gets paid before you. That's what it's like, which means your 401k gets paid before you, right? Your kid's college savings account gets paid before you. Your apartment building you bought 3 years ago, it gets paid before you. And at the end of the day, you don't get hardly anything. You want to be an entrepreneur? People make more money on minimum wage than an entrepreneur. But they'll die on minimum wage. And an entrepreneur will die with a smile on his or her face because she lived the life that she wanted to live and kicked ass all along the way. But yes, she got paid last because she had to pay the employees. She had to pay the tax man. She had to pay for advertising. She had to pay for rent. She had to pay everybody and provide value to her clients. But when it was all over, she owned the whole damn thing. Monster investment over her whole life, but has awesome stories along the way. You're like, Wayne, well, that'll take me my whole life to get rich. Yeah, I know, right? Translate all of this. How does it start with Forex? Forex is your business. You need to prepare and think ahead and all that kind of stuff. But then outside your business, you are a business. And I hope you get this point. If you make some money in Forex, don't go buy a Rolex. Okay? Do you know who buys the Rolex? Renters. Okay? Renters pay the mortgage. And then what? The asset goes up 50%. Dude, right now, real estate goes up 10% a year. That's compounding, bro. That's doubling every 5 or 6 years. So like you buy a house for $400,000, 10 years later, you sell it for $800,000. Where did the Rolex come from? Free money. Free frickin' money. Plus you only had 20% down. Your internal rate of return is redonkulous because the bank put up the vast majority of the money. Okay? You got to think big like a boss, not consumption, investment. You don't get paid. Everything else gets paid. Your Forex accounts get paid. Pay your Forex account. Okay? How much should you pay yourself as a successful Forex trader? 0. The guy on YouTube with the yellow Lamborghini, bullshit. Okay? Why? You spent all this money on the Lamborghini. Okay? Doesn't make any sense. It's not a real concept. It's not real. If you think about it, it doesn't make any sense. Okay? If you make $100 million a year, let's be simple. $25 million a year. Okay, go get your Lambo. That's fine. That kid on YouTube doesn't make $25 million a year. Okay? Okay? Yeah, $3,000. We talk about this in the macroeconomics course. You can just have it. It's $3,000. Go get yourself a Lambo. Right? $3,000. What's the big deal? You don't understand the concept of investing. You don't get it. So instead, go get that Lambo and die a renter. I want you to die happy with a smile on your face, satisfied with all that you accomplished, and you'll be a boss owning, right? You'll be a business owner, and you've invested all the productivity you created. Okay? You're going to die big. You're going to die a hero. You're going to change the lives of people around you. Hopefully for your children and your grandchildren. And they get more, have more resources to live their lives. Okay? It's part of the 300-year plan. But it ain't going to happen quick. I just said a 300-year plan. Doesn't happen quick. You want to get rich quick? Doesn't happen. That's fool's gold. Okay? Unless you took a significant amount of money and bought something with no value and have it go up 10,000%. But like I said when I had the conversation with my son, why would I buy thousands of dollars of Dogecoin when it was worth 0.0001? It was literally worthless. Why would I spend $10,000 on something worthless? Yes, I would have been a multi-millionaire if I had done it. But at that time, it was probably gambling. Hey, let's buy this and see if it pops. Okay, great. And you got $10K at that time to throw down on a gamble, literally buying something worthless? Well, then you already have money. And if you did that, if you already have money, maybe it's a consumption bet. Maybe it was a true investment. But you have to be in that situation where, if I bought 1,000 Bitcoin when it was $1,000, okay, I'd be very wealthy right now. But that means I had to have $1 million in cash that I wanted to invest into something incredibly risky. I need to have so much money that I don't care about the $1 million. You see the weirdness? So the hype you read in the papers, like, dude, if you had $1 million you didn't care about, now you got 50 million more. Yeah, but you were already a monster then. We get all excited about the get rich quick stuff, right? Yeah, well, someone threw down $500 and bought Bitcoin when it was worthless. Okay, great. It's not a real, how do you say it? It's not a real story. I mean, it's a story, and it happened, and some people did get really filthy, stinking rich when it was worthless. If you want to find a true path to wealth, provide value through your Forex trading, save almost all of it, and then invest into a real asset, let's say, instead of a cash, because your real asset right now will always be cash. As a cash trader, that's what we are. But then if you take some of the cash out, because you're leveraged 100 to 1, you don't need that much cash. So then you take some cash out and you buy another real asset. You convert the cash into something else. A physical asset called an apartment building that has an income stream we call rent, and the income stream is higher than the expenses. And after expenses, you have more than enough money to pay the bank because they're the largest shareholder of your business. So you pay them. But the cool thing is they don't own equity. They own debt. So you give them their little 4% cut. 4%. Well, what about the other 96% that's left over after you pay the expenses? After the landscaper gets paid, after the electricity company gets paid, after the water company gets paid, after saving money for repairs, right? After you do all that, then the bank gets 4%, right? After that, what's left over? That's yours, baby. 10 years later, the apartment building's worth 50% more. Bingo. Okay? Not only is it worth 50% more, what happened over 10 years? The renters paid the rent. The rent pays the bank. The bank now might be a minority owner. The bank might own 49% of the asset. You might own 51% of the asset, and the asset's gone up 50%. You only have 20% in the game. You might have doubled or more than doubled your money. Plus, you still have rent coming into your pocket every day. Holy crap. Your Forex and your real estate is going to be great. But, it gets better. You have to pay taxes. Oh, well, that doesn't sound good. Well, you have to pay for roads and schools and keep society safe and all that kind of stuff. Great. But did you know you can take $3,000 a month to invest into the stock market, in which we call a retirement account that your business set up? Oh, shiza. So now you're investing $3,000 a month. You own real estate and you're producing returns in Forex. Can you see how 20 years from now, your life that you live is going to be significantly different than probably what you had thought about and maybe what you've ever seen? Well, on different paths, you may have never met somebody like you are going to be. And then you're going to mentor your children. You're going to mentor your nieces and nephews. You're going to mentor the neighbors, right? Okay. Maybe you'll speak to 1,000 invisible friends every day. Mentor them. Boy, life's going to be great. You know what? Life is great. Life is beautiful. I'm glad you're in my life. So have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys on Monday here at Forex.Today. Please like, please subscribe, and please leave comments. That would be appreciated. All that activity tells YouTube this is quality content. And that's all I'm asking for is help YouTube make the wise decision to promote this video. If something in the algorithm changes, twice as many people see the video. Yeah, and maybe my revenue will skyrocket from $1,000 a year to $1,500 a year. Woo! Right? So I'm not doing it for a self-interest, right? If this was quality content, help YouTube know so. And maybe we can change a few other lives along the way and make the world a better place. Cheers.